Okay, now, these new bars indicate a transfers of power where there's more power to less power. They only work in one direction, from a bigger area to a smaller area. There's a blockage or a switch. It goes from a bigger area here, there's a bigger area to a smaller area. These red things are pistons. The center things are piston rods running a continuous length. These green things are like things that take a vacuum from a bigger area, from a big vacuum to a smaller vacuum. Big vacuum to a smaller vacuum. Big vacuum to smaller vacuum. Okay, up here. When this comes up, it creates a vacuum. Up here, there's an open spot. Here, there's an open spot. Here, there's an open spot that relieves pressure. Here, there's an open spot underneath. Okay, when this comes up, there's low pressure here. There's one that starts this that's halfway through. One's halfway through that starts this one. When this bottoms out, when there's one of these at the other end, it's the exact opposite. When this gets to the other end, there's one that's the exact opposite, pushes this back the other way. Okay, there's one going in one direction, one going in the other direction, and there's two of them. When one gets halfway, it starts this in the other direction. You got your high pressure here, it comes down and pushes this up. Okay, here you have your vacuum. When this comes up, this vent's here, this here is like a vacuum that takes the pressure off of here. When this comes up, this here relieves the pressure off of here. When this comes up, it creates a less pressure under here. This here is a three-section. You got pressure here coming up. You got higher pressure coming under here, pushing this up. This is a lower pressure. When this comes up, there's lower pressure here, taking the pressure off of here. So you have less pressure here. This comes up, the pressure comes around here. The lower pressure here comes around here and takes the lower pressure off of there. So when this red piston comes off here, it's relieved here, and it creates a lower pressure below it. This lower pressure below it takes the pressure off of this one. Here, when this red piston comes up here, it creates a pressure here. When this larger pressure piston comes up here, there's no pressure here. It takes the pressure off of here, so there's no pressure on top of this one. This higher pressure here comes around here, but there's pressure on top of here. So when this comes up, there's no pressure here because of this. So the no pressure here comes on top of this. The no pressure here comes on top of this, pulling this up. The no pressure comes around here. The no pressure here comes here. Sorry if I'm shaking. Now, it's this sign here. I'm using the pistons above. They're relieved because they're working in such a way that they're vented at the top, and they got suction below them. When they come up, they're vented at the top, and they're pulling around at the bottom, and they're pulling around at the bottom. They're taking the vacuum below them. There's a vacuum below them. They're pulling around at the bottom, pulling a vacuum above the piston below them, creating a vacuum of the piston below them, taking a vacuum of the piston below them, and there's a vacuum of the piston on top of the piston below them, relieving the pressure on the piston below them, so there's no pressure on the thing, but where there's pressure building up on the thing on the thing below it, where it's building up pressure. It's not really building up pressure because of the piston above it. It's got a vacuum above it. So although the piston above is building up pressure, it's not really, because the piston above it's got a vacuum on top of it. It's not really building up pressure because the piston above it's got a vacuum on top of it. And down below it, there's pressure coming underneath of it, building up pressure below it. And I shook it so you can't really look at it. I'll get a bigger picture and have a bigger picture on Chipe holding a sign, a still picture with a sign, just a still picture with a sign saying the same thing, but the still picture. Thank you, bye.